So, good morning, good evening, guys. I am Himanshu, representing ads. Now, as part of our first slide that I would like to cover in terms of the presentation, we'll have introduction to Dynamics 365. What exactly is a Dynamics 365, and what are the intricacies of all these instances? Then we'll try to do a high level comparison of what are the other competitor options and how does Dynamics CRM fare in terms of that, and little about the trainer, right? So I hope you guys have a very basic have basic level of understanding what a CRM is. So when we say CRM, it's a customer relationship management tool. That means you are keeping your customer with which you are doing business at the center, and you are designing the entire system around it. Now, having said that, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy for me to say that, like designing the system around a customer. But what does that actually mean for a customer, right? Once we start interacting with a customer, starting from its inception, that means when you have initiated a deal with it, you start bringing their data in the system, and finally you convert that lead into a customer where you actually start doing business with that person, and taking care of day-to-day activities with that person. And finally, an unfortunate stage will come, or fortunate stage will come, when either that customer will leave you or you will leave that customer, right? In that scenario, it's till that point of time where the customer offboards the system. The CRM is a system which tracks the entire transaction. How does it help? It help you in maintaining the reporting mechanism. You can strategize your future plannings. You can create all sort of decisions wherein you can finalize like which product we have to target to which industry. You can see how is the SLA going on, right? So let me take a practical scenario. For example, if you're purchasing a laptop from a branded company like Hill Packard, you usually get an offsite warranty out of it, right? Now, once, for example, you get a damaged good, you actually call Hewlett Packard, and they will internally, track that ticket and will assign you a service engineer who will help you out in either replacing that laptop or getting that laptop updated with the changes so that your laptop will start working. So this is one small portion of how CRM is going to help you, right? Similarly, if you take an example of medical industry, in that you actually get a lead in terms of like a customer, patient just walks into a hospital or walks into a medical test place, and he says that he has to go for some specific test for blood, right? Now he has inquired about the rates of the blood test and all, but he hasn't actually done a test through your place, right? So what you do is you store their information in a pamphlet, and you just follow it up like, okay, we have a deal and you can take this deal, and then it will be cheaper for you and it is the best quality and stuff, right? Similarly, we can just pick the entire thing up and put in a software, and then we can track this lead end to end, and we this will help us to give a quality tracking to the customer, and then we can actually go ahead and convert that particular lead into a customer at a later point of time. So that's where CRM becomes even more important. Now, when we come to Microsoft Dynamics, we have the latest release from Microsoft, which is combining two systems, which is known as Enterprise Relationship Planning, that is ERP, and then CRM, which is Customer Relationship Management, into one software, which is Dynamics 365. Right now, ERP is a bit different compared to a CRM. CRM is more focused toward storing customers' interaction, be it of any form. It can be in terms if you're doing a sales, or if you're providing a service, or you're marketing your products, or even in certain scenarios like you're designing custom application altogether, right? But ERP is more for in-house quality. Like for example, you have to manage accounting, you have to manage financing, store inventory and stuff. So this is like a legacy product. Now, as part of Dynamics 365, the first change that they have done is they have brought in both of them under one umbrella. they are sharing the same data model. When I say the same data model, is basically these guys can interact with each other more seamlessly, right? So for the folks who are not aware of ERP and CRM, it will look a bit vague, but this is a pretty huge change that Microsoft has baked in Dynamics 365. Now, the other advantage or the other biggest thing that they have done is that it's a cloud-based solution. So, if you actually create a trial version for Dynamics CRM, Dynamics 365, you can actually load in multiple applications, and you can bake it in one single instance, and everything is on cloud, so you don't have to worry about the infrastructure, about learning the database, about learning the SQL queries or store procedure, because Dynamics CRM does that in the background. All you have to understand is the format in which you have to run such things. So that will be something that will be comprehensively covering in our sessions. Now, compared to Dynamics CRM, we have a lot of competitors in the market. So one of the main competitors is Salesforce. Then you also have something known as Siebel CRM, which is a Oracle's product. Then you have certain growing up and pretty interesting products like Zoho CRM and Sugar CRM and all that. So how does Dynamics CRM fare from them is that compared to the host of facilities or host of services it provides, Dynamic CRM actually costs pretty much less and provides you more flexibility in terms of customizations, right? Now, a little about myself. So I have overall 11 years of experience in and around Dynamic CRM, and I have been working on Dynamics CRM as a active consultant since we had 4.0 as a dynamic version. After that, we have multiple versions like 2011, then 2013, 2015, 2016, and then Dynamics 365. So Dynamics CRM has grown a lot in the last 10 plus years. So the advantage of taking a training from AADS, as I can proudly say, is that we have a plethora of trainers who are just not plain or like direct trainers, but they come from a industry experience, from a background of industry experience, so they can guide you towards the day-to-day case studies. They can tell you what will be the implementation problems once you start working on Dynamics CRM. Right, so not taking much more time, I will actually slide to the next slide, which will outline the training content. So we have kept the training content pretty straightforward. So we have bifurcated the entire substance into three parts. One is going to be the functional, the second one is configuration and customization, and third one will be the advanced technical. So the functional and configuration and customization, these two modules are targeted for all the audiences who has interest in learning Dynamics CRM. For advanced technical, it becomes a bit prerogatory that you have a basic understanding of OOPS concept and coding languages. Right. Now, in the functional, we will go through on a high level like how CRM as an application work. The starting couple of hours or an hour or so will focus on how do you navigate from one place to another to make you feel comfortable, and then we'll see how what is the base of Dynamics CRM, how does the records work, what is the skull structure on which Dynamics CRM is based out of, right? And then there are very specific terminologies with respect to Dynamics CRM, which is quick find and multi-entity search. It basically lets you navigate to the records pretty quickly and easier in an easier way. Then we have on a high level three modules that Dynamics CRM as a platform offers, which are the core modules: marketing, sales, and service. So apart from that, there are also other modules that are available in the form of apps. So we'll have a high level walkthrough of them like field service, project automation, but that is not something that is a part of this content. Now, in sales, we'll specifically deal with like leads, opportunities, accounts, contacts, quotes, orders, invoices. So basically, these terminologies are very generic in nature. These are standard across the entire CRM world, be it Dynamics or be it Salesforce, or be it any CRM or any business, right? So as the name suggests, leads are something that will be um, created upfront, with which we are hoping that they will convert to a proper customer and will start dealing business with, right? So we will understand the flow and how in Dynamics CRM you can actually configure that flow, how can you customize that flow. We'll have a hands-on around it. Then we'll jump to services module, and we'll see how we write SLAs, like service level agreements. How can we like write custom case routing rules, how to define escalation metrics, and what are different specific service level role, like entitlements and auto record creation and stuff. So services module is one of the heaviest module that Dynamics CRM provides. It's a pretty comprehensive module as well. And I'm pretty proud to say that most of the implementations are almost around services module for Dynamics CRM. So it's pretty extensive and a comprehensive module. Uh, then we'll cover the hands-on of that. It will be a scenario-based hands-on where we'll actually pick up an industry-based scenario, and then we'll do some hands-on around it. Then we have marketing. So marketing is another interesting module that Dynamics CRM provides, where you can actually configure the marketing list. You can define campaign management. You can interact with customer. You can store them as activities. Then there are a lot of assignments and stuff. So pretty interesting stuff from marketing perspective as well. Post the hands-on, we'll try to cover an XRM scenario. So it will deal like how we are going to set up Dynamics CRM for non out of the box non-core modules. So we are going to pick up any live scenario. It may it be a banking domain, insurance, or public, or any other domain. So we'll try to see how do we do a fit gap analysis out of it. So if you have to be a purely functional guy, the fit gap analysis becomes even more important. Now, here comes the most interesting and lovable part of Dynamics CRM. It's flexibility. So we have defined this entire flexibility in terms of configuration. How do you extend Dynamics CRM by creating custom entities, fields, different types of form customizations, and what are the relationship behaviors and stuff. And then we'll also cover certain new concepts which are there in D365, like virtual entity, apps concept, sitemap designer, and there are certain items which are not in this list, but there are a lot of new items that we are covering in D365 as well. So apart from covering the configurations and customization, we'll also use a hands-on scenarios to actually take you through the entire journey, so that you can by the end of the training you are self-sufficient to actually start working on dynamic CRM customization and configuration from day one, right? Now the final step in the training would be to take you through the cream of the dynamic CRM extensibility, which is the extension of CRM using plugins and workflows. So we'll be covering the architecture and the skull structure, what was the journey that has panned out from initial inception days to now, so that you have a more brighter idea how dynamic CRM has evolved over the years and what is the skull structure behind it. We'll also see some dev related toolkits. We'll also analyze a lot of help tools, so that can get us through the development of it. But once it comes to plugins and workflows, it majorly becomes a scenario for the developer kind of orientation. So people with developer mindset will gel well in terms of the advanced technical, right? These are the additional topics that we are going to cover, which includes workflow basics, actions, real-time workflows, and what are the changes that have done. For example, we have not included dialogues in our APT because we are no more concentrating on dialogues, as this is one feature that is going to go offset in the coming versions of Dynamics CRM. And then you have some of the concepts that neither fall in the configuration purely, neither fall in the advanced. It is somewhere in between. Some portion, the reason purely that you can do it both using a developer friendly GUI, that is graphical user interface, or you can also do it in more coding way, like by modifying the XML and stuff. So business process is one stuff. You can also work on actions. Actions is another bright feature that Dynamics have actually added in 2011 2013. It's just like a RESTful service that you can create. We'll see more of it once we start going deeper into training. Then we'll cover JavaScript scenarios wherein we'll try to hide and show certain buttons, and we'll try to pick up values. We'll try to see the security role based modifications and stuff. So these are like day-to-day based jobs that we do in CRM development. Then we'll also browse through the advanced JavaScript. Well, you will be calling up the REST APIs and stuff from it from the JavaScript. Then you have business rules. These are something that a functional guy can easily configure in the system. Pretty interesting concept that was introduced in 2015. And then we have ribbon customizations, sitemap customization, and solution management. So the crux of the entire thing lies in the solution management and the ALM processes. We are going to cover all of that as part of the training. So that was more from the perspective of the content that we are going to cover on, and this slide will be again visible on the day one of yours, so that we can gladly acclimatize ourselves with the training content, and then we'll move on. Yeah. So that was more or less from my side on the presentation. If you guys have any questions or you would like to ask something, please go ahead and ask.